coping with the lockdown. Maybe some of you might have tried my pancakes, and I hope they turned out delicious. So by popular demand, I'm actually going to do another little recipe for you. Here's the clue. If you're good at catchphrase, you might be good at this one. It's this and this. You got it, it's banana bread. Yeah. So I'm just going to do this recipe just because actually for me, our bananas are starting to look a little bit sorry for themselves. So it's a really simple recipe that anyone can do. I haven't even got my mixer. So we're going to be doing it with good old elbow grease. Okay, so wooden spoon and mixing bowl at the ready. Okay, so let's start. So what you need is 140 grams of butter, okay? So putting the butter in, soften it a little bit if you can. I've just put it in the microwave a little bit just to soften it up for us. And then you need 140 grams of caster sugar. Now, the recipe is 140 grams of sugar, but I'm actually only going to use 100 grams, okay? The reason for that is you don't actually need that much sugar because you've got a lot of sugar coming from the bananas, but it's up to you. If you've got a bit of a sugary tooth, you might want to have 140 grams, but in this recipe, I'm only using 100 grams of sugar. Okay, so putting that all in, and you can see just into the mixer like that. And then we're just going to mix this all together. And what you want is a kind of a nice creamy kind of consistency. If it's taking a little bit longer, I might turn you off for a bit and then come back with our kind of mixed creamed butter and sugar. Start to mix it together. So I don't know if anybody's noticed the music that I've got on today. I'm a bit of a classical music fan. I like playing it, but I also like listening to it. And I actually find it quite uplifting. And this is actually a piece by Beethoven called the Pastoral Symphony, and it's a really nice piece, I think. It's very uplifting at moments, and it's sort of the depiction of the countryside. And I think that's something that most of us are craving for at the moment in this lockdown scenario. Right, so bashing away at this. It's taking a little bit longer, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this together and come back to you when I've mixed it a little bit more. All right, see you in a sec. So now we need 2 eggs. So 2 eggs in a bowl, and we're just going to literally whisk the eggs. So white and yellow bits. Just going to whisk it all up. You can use a whisk or you can even just use a fork. Okay, so we're going to whisk that. Okay, and so leave that to a side, and then we're going to take our bananas, we're going to peel them, and we're just going to mash them up in a bowl. And because they're so ripe, you'll find that the bananas will really mush easily. And the riper they are, the better they are for cooking. Right, okay, so that's all mushed up and ready. I'm going to now move on to the flour. Okay. So remember what I said if you saw my pancake recipe, whenever you're using flour, whatever type of flour it is, it's always good to sieve it. Why is it good to sieve it? Just because it gives the cake a lot of air, okay? So always make sure you've got a sieve handy. This is quite a fun bit actually. My kids tend to like doing the sieving, but they're nowhere to be seen at the moment. Apparently they're doing homework. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, right, so the sieving 140 grams of plain flour here. I tend to always like using plain flour. You can use 140 grams of self-raising flour as well. In which case, if you use self-raising flour, you only need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. But if you're using plain flour, I would suggest using maybe 1 3/4 spoonful of baking powder. So this is the rising agent, okay? So if you don't put that in your cake won't rise, all right? Okay, so we're all ready. On to the next stage. The next phase is going back to our bowl. It's just down there. And we're going to add to that now our egg. Okay, so the egg that we whisked earlier. And actually, as we've got a bit of a pause here, I should also say that you need a baking tin to put your banana bread in, obviously. And it's usually a loaf tin like this, okay? Now I've got a paper inside, but if you don't have greaseproof paper, all you do is you get a little bit of butter and you wipe it on the inside and put a little bit of flour on it, and that's just as good. Next phase is adding this egg. The egg goes in, all of it, like that, whole thing. And then we're going to whisk the egg and the butter and the sugar together. So again, just whisking it, getting it all together. Kind of looks a little bit like scrambled eggs at the moment. That's not to worry. Just keep whisking, keep stirring. Eventually it should all sort of come together, okay? So to preserve the air, you don't want to be adding the flour in and doing this, okay? You want to be gently folding the cake batter in, okay? So usually you use a metal spoon for folding, okay? Over there. Okay, and so now we're going to add our flour. So a tablespoon, 2 or 3 tablespoons at a time. So first 3 tablespoons, and then what you do is you, I don't know if you can see this, but you and I tend to put a little bit of vanilla in because I find I don't really like cakes that have that sort of eggy kind of after smell taste. So I'm putting 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, okay? That's because I've got 2 eggs, okay? So if you were having 3 eggs, I would put 3 teaspoons in. Just takes away that kind of smell. Right, lovely. And now, the last ingredient to go in, the most important ingredient, are the bananas. So, we're going to pour those bananas in. Okay, just show you the consistency. Okay, so you've got the creamy cake, and we're just going to fold that banana in. Sorry, I think I lost you there. Right, so we're going to pour it now into our prepared tin. Okay. Can't really see what I'm doing, but anyway. So that's the tin. I'm going to pour this in. And that, my friends, is it. As simple as that. So we've done it, we've filmed in live time. So it's a little bit longer, this video, but it just gives you that sense of how quick it takes. So it took about, I'd say about half an hour. Messing around with cameras and things like that. So yeah, I reckon you guys could get this in the oven within about half an hour of starting out. Okay, so just get a spatula, and with a spatula you can clean the bowl. Lovely. Let me just take that off. And then what we're going to do is we're just, I mean, it's pretty, that's how it should look. And then we just put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Right. And that is it. So I'll see you back in 30 minutes and we'll see how this cake has developed. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye. So, had a quick costume change in between. So my timer has just gone off now for 30 minutes. So we're just going to have a look and see how it's doing the cake. All right. Okay. So just looking in there, I don't know if you can see, but it's looking brown. but I'm gonna leave it an extra 2 minutes just because it doesn't look like it's even all the way through. So for just another 2 minutes, I'm going to leave it, and then I'm going to take it out and we can test it. Okay, right, so I'm going to take the cake out now. I don't know if you can see it there. Okay, it's risen a little bit, which is lovely, looking nice and golden brown. And I'm going to take it and put it on our cooling rack. Okay, and looking lovely. That is looking nice, right? Okay, what we're going to do here, music's getting a bit excited. Right. I'm going to try and show you if the cake is ready or not. We just put our knife in here. It comes out, you can see, it's actually come out a little wet. So if you can see that on this camera, there you could probably see better. So on that basis, we're going to have to put it back in. Okay, not a problem. It's not a problem. So we just take the cake, and I would put this back in for about another 3 minutes, no longer. Okay, and the thing is, you can kind of work out with your oven, different ovens operate slightly differently, and you'll find your rhythm with your oven. But that should be done in 3 minutes. Take it out, put it on a cooling rack, quite good, because it allows the cake to cool without continuing to cook and dry out. So if you've got that, if you haven't though, not a problem, just take it out and maybe just put it on the counter. If you've got like a cold counter, that's fine as well. Okay, right, well hopefully next time I see you we should have banana cake already. Okay guys, so that was 3 minutes, quite quick. We're gonna now take the cake out. All right, looking pretty good still. Get yourself a clean knife, put it into the center of the cake, and you'll see it's come out much cleaner, and that means it's ready. So nothing else to do now other than to take the cake out of the tin. As I said, you don't want it to overheat, over bake. Hopefully it's going to come out. And there, should have left it in slightly longer maybe. Remember, it will be quite wet, the cake, because obviously it's got fruit in it. And there we have it. Banana cake, just for you. Bye. Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I hope you enjoyed making banana bread with me, and maybe it might inspire you to do so. I'm certainly enjoying making these videos, so if you do like my channel, please subscribe. And if not, I'd love to hear your comments, and hopefully see you all soon. Stay safe. Bye. And that is the final banana cake. So hopefully yours will be looking as scrumptious as ours, and we're going to enjoy ours at the end of the day. Take care.